And you don't just study the Mandukya Upanishad by itself, the short Upanishad with just 12 mantras, but you study it with Gaudapada's verses, commentaries, the Karikas of Gaudapada on the Mandukya Upanishad. And that's what we did. It's in 4 chapters or 4 prakaranas, and we went through that. It's like going to the Himalayas.
Now y'all can see my struggle, one-handed life. Oh my goodness. Come on, bro. Oh my goodness. As you can see, it is a pain in the ass. First off, philosophy is a confession. Hey, what's good, y'all? Thanks for clicking on the link. WTJ Knowledge Drops back with another reaction video for you. This has probably been the most requested video so far. More on that in a second, though. If you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. If you are a returning knowledge nomad, I want to say thank you for supporting me and coming back, and I hope you continue to have a good time. If you are new, welcome. My name is Wesley Travis Johnson. This is my channel, WTJ Knowledge Drops, where I react to the spiritual leaders, and I try to bridge the gap between Eastern and Western spirituality / religion. Alright, and finally, the Katha Upanishad, Part 1, Introduction, by the one and only Swami G. Sarvapriyananda. And I've been looking forward to getting into these texts. Sorry, I can't talk right now. All right, let's get into it.
Just this evening, before the class, before Arati, I was walking in Central Park, and I had 2 distinguished visitors, very senior devotees from Southern California, John and his wife Anne, and John was telling me about Houston.
I have never been to New York or California, honestly. I have been some other places besides Texas, but never been to New York or California. Isn't that wild? Been in this country for almost 50 years. My priorities were elsewhere besides traveling. Let's just say they went inside my body. Alright, let's get into the text.
How Houston Smith, the great scholar of comparative religion, and the
scholar of competitive religion. Isn't that just killing people? You know, like the Crusades. If you don't conform, you'll die. Isn't that competitive religion? What the fuck is competitive religion, guys? Sorry, excuse my language. Alright, and Houston Smith sounds like a fake name, by the way.
The author of that wonderful book, The World's Religions, which was originally a little politically incorrectly named The Religions of Man, and then now a better name is The World's Religions. So how did he come to Vedanta? He was introduced to these ideas as a scholar of religion by reading Gerald Hurd, who was at the Trabuco Monastery, the Vedanta Society of Southern California. And then from Gerald Hurd, and also through Gerald Hurd, he met Aldous Huxley.
If you prefer Advaita Vedanta, how did you come across it? Was it a family thing? Did you find it on your own? Was it a friend influence? How did you find it? Let me know in the comments. Me personally, I found it through you guys. I just happened to do a reaction to a Sadhguru video, and then I got a request for a Simon G video, and I've just been loving it ever since. Shut up, Wes.
Well, at that time already was at the Vedanta Society of Southern California, and Gerald Hurd told him about this wonderful Swami in St. Louis, which is where Houston Smith was there. He was teaching Swami Satprakashananda. So the story goes.
Now we're getting closer to where I've been. St. Louis. Shout out Kansas City. Shout out Chiefs. We are back, baby.
It was the first time Houston Smith went to meet Swami Satprakashananda at this place where Swami Satprakashananda was teaching at that time. There was a class going on the Upanishads, and Houston Smith liked it very much, and he wanted to pick up one of those Upanishads. So he got a copy of Katha Upanishad, and Houston Smith says, I went back and read it, and he said,
is Katha the first, Katha, sorry. Is this the first one that I should actually get into, or am I starting them out of order? Let me know in the comments. If so, I can hit the first one next, and it'll just be like a Star Wars second episode first episode second type deal. Let me know.
All the truth, so much truth in so few pages. He was completely sold in the idea, and he loved it. And that's how he comes to. It's a wonderful story of how he comes to be so much influenced by Vedanta. So that is the Upanishad that we are going to take up. A little background. We have already studied the Mandukya Upanishad, which is a sort of the shortest, the most powerful of the Upanishads, sort of the final word on the Upanishad teachings. So I don't know if it was a wise thing to do, but I decided to start with the Mandukya Upanishad. A few years back, we started with the Mandukya Upanishad, and you don't just study the Mandukya Upanishad by itself, the short Upanishad with just 12 mantras, but you study it with Gaudapada's verses, commentaries, the Karikas of Gaudapada on the Mandukya Upanishad. And that's what we did. It's in 4 chapters or 4 prakaranas, and we went through that.
Okay.
It's like going to the Himalayas, and the first thing that if your guide takes you straight up to the top of the Everest. So that's foolishness, immaturity, and ambition on part of the guide.
Yeah.
So that's what prompted me to go there first, but not entirely.
Okay, I was gonna say maybe I am doing the second one, the wrong one first, but it sounds like that one is just like everything summed up and kind of summarizes in the Mandukya. I don't know where I'm going with this. Sorry, guys.
There is a tradition. There's in fact one of the minor Upanishads, Muktika Upanishad, says that for those who are seeking enlightenment and liberation, spiritual freedom, moksha, Mandukya Upanishad is enough. Mandukyam ekameva alam mumukshunam vimuktaye. Mumukshu, for those who are seeking moksha, spiritual freedom, for their liberation, Mandukya itself is enough. But then, if it has not worked, and for those who have not yet become enlightened, not yet become spiritually free while living Jivan Mukta, knowers of Brahman yet, if you want to know what else can we do, the Muktika Upanishad itself goes on to suggest, read these 10 Upanishads.
Okay, so here we go. So if you can't get the bare minimum down, then you go through these. I'm not a bare minimum guy. I go all the way. I'm a deep diver. Bare minimum, I don't know what that even is, really, honestly.
And if these 10 don't work, it goes on ultimately to give a list of 108 Upanishads.
Holy cow. I'm here for all of them, but that's a lot of time, especially if they're all hour lectures.
So if you want going to be spared the 108 Upanishads, the whole syllabus, we can read the 10 Upanishads. And the Muktika Upanishad gives a list of what you can do. What are these 10 Upanishads? Includes the Mandukya Upanishad. Isha kena katha prashna mundamandukya titirihi aitareyam cha chandogyam brihad aranyakam tatha. The 10 Upanishads are the Isha Upanishad, Kena Upanishad, Katha Upanishad, Katha Upanishad, the one we are going to start with. Prashna Upanishad, then the Mundaka Upanishad, the Mandukya Upanishad, which we have already studied once. And by the way, none of them are supposed to be studied just once, unless you are one of those geniuses who gets it and that's it. You become enlightened. You come.
No, it's something you go back to. I understand that.
Back to it again and again. So Mandukya Upanishad, then the Aitareya Upanishad, Taittiriya Upanishad, Chandogya Upanishad, and the biggest of them all, the Brihadaranyaka. The Mandukya is the shortest with 12 mantras. The Brihadaranyaka literally means the vast forest, and it's vast. And the Chandogya also is pretty bulky. Now, what are we going to do? The Mandukya was, it's like going on a jet plane. Now we're going to take it more easy. We're going to take the scenic route now. Take it slow and easy. We're going to start with these Upanishads.
That's probably the best for me, honestly. Smooth and easy route. I have a very good memory, and if I'm paying attention, I can remember a lot, so it does make me seem like I'm smart, but I am a high school dropout. It was more of a challenge for me to sneak off campus and not get caught than it was for me to stay in school and make good grades. I don't remember where my point was, but I'll remember in a second.
There are different ways of doing it. I'll do it sort of my way.
That's what she said.
I'm not going to follow the sequence suggested in this verse. Sometimes some traditional schools do that. They start with the Isha, go on to the Kena, which are short Upanishads.
I trust Swamiji more than anything, so whatever he says is the right way, or what he thinks would be the correct way of learning it, is what I'm going to go with as well. So I think we're on the right track here.
Then they do the Katha and the Mundaka and the Mandukya and so on, and end with the Brihadaranyaka. What we'll do is, we'll start with the Katha Upanishad, then we will go on to the Mundaka Upanishad, then we will go on to the Kena Upanishad, then the Isha Upanishad, and then the Taittiriya Upanishad, and then we'll do part of the Taittiriya Upanishad, we'll do selected portions of the Chandogya Upanishad and selected portions of the Brihadaranyaka.
It sounds like he's saying open and shuts like a motherfucker.
Certain reasons why I'm doing this. So I'm leaving out a couple of others like Aitareya and Prashna, for example. So we're going to end up doing 8 Upanishads. And at the end, maybe we can repeat the Mandukya once again. So this is the grand plan. By the grace of Sri Ramakrishna, the Holy Mother, we will be able to undertake this journey. By their grace, we were able to finish the Mandukya, which is great. Why this way? Isha and Kena, they are very short. So why not start with that? And the sequence starts with Isha and Kena. The reason is, the Isha Upanishad is problematic. There are a set of 4 mantras in the middle of that Upanishad which are difficult to interpret, and they are open to multiple interpretations. I remember once...
As is a lot of things, guys. And interpretation and your perspective is not always right. Both the same, one and the other.
I rushed in my immaturity as a young monk. I was comparing I was reading Shankara's commentaries on the Upanishads, Isha Upanishad. I said, look, here Shankara does this and Swami Vivekananda says something very different. And I rushed to a very senior Swami of our order, Swami Prabhananda, who is now the vice president of the order, very scholarly, very sharp Swami. And I said, Swami, this commentary disagrees with Swami Vivekananda's commentary. Shankara disagrees with Vivekananda here in this Isha Upanishad. And he chuckled and he said, you're just talking about 2 commentaries. I'll just show you 11 different commentaries on that section. They all different.
Yeah. All different interpretations. Everybody sees it and thinks about it their own way. Although we all do receive the same signal, so some people's antennas are higher than others.
Differ from each other. So because of certain reasons, we'll do the Isha Upanishad a little later. In fact, it was one of my assignments 2 years back at Harvard to compare multiple commentaries.
He's just flexing on us now, throwing out the Harvard reference. He is very scholarly himself, though. He was talking about the other cat, but he is scholarly himself. I love the way he teaches.
Is the video and audio all right?
Yes, Maharaj.
The camera seemed to flicker back and forth a little bit.
Looks good.
He's tripping. You're tripping, Swami G. Let me get what you're on.
Okay. And the Kena is short, but it's subtle. So it's the beauty of the Kena Upanishad we can see later on. That's why I want to start with the Katha Upanishad. The Katha Upanishad, in these Upanishads, Katha, Mundaka, Kena, you will see a different scene. The Mandukya Upanishad and the Mandukya Karika are very intense. Whereas in these Upanishads, you will have stories, you will have humor, you will have gods and demons, you will have...
That is the first time I've heard demons being referenced in any religion outside of Christianity. Isn't that wild? So this is getting into like the fiction stories that represent different things. I'm not too big into into fiction stuff. I'm big into nonfiction, and I'm kind of approaching this as a nonfiction. But I know it's about to have some fiction stories in there that I do not need to take literal or materialize them. I'm learning, guys.
There are birds and elephants and trees and whatnot. So many wonderful things are there, you'll see. And dialogues of teachers and students, none of which are present in the Mandukya Upanishad. It's very intense and it's very dry that way. It's very direct and very powerful. So that's why I said this is the scenic route when we are going to go into this. It was Swami Vivekananda's favorite Upanishad, the Katha Upanishad, which we are talking about now. So that's another reason why I would like to go with that. And it's a beautiful story about a little boy Nachiketa going in search of knowledge to the house of death, no less. What else? However, the truth that we got, the teaching that we got in the Mandukya Upanishad and Mandukya Karika is virtually the same teaching that we will get here in all of these Upanishads. In fact, why just the Upanishads? The introductory texts which we read, and by the way, we read them in preparation of the journey that we are going to undertake now. We read first of all the Drigdrishya Viveka, we read the Aparoksha Anubhuti, then we studied Vedanta Sada finally.
It still feels like I'm not starting at the beginning. Am I just tripping? Let me know in the comments, guys.
And they are all in preparation, especially Vedanta Sara. If you have not followed those classes, don't worry at all. You can catch up later with those classes or you need not. But if you have done those classes, especially the last one, Vedanta Sara, you will find it very easy going. And the going will be much easier. And you will find linkages. You will begin to see where the story is the same across all of them. What else did I? All right. So we know why we are doing this. This is Upanishads are the foundation of Vedanta. So Upanishads and Vedanta are the same. For example, how Vedanta is useful. Vedanta itself is defined as Vedanta Nama Upanishad Pramanam. The source of knowledge called the Upanishads is Vedanta. Literally, Vedanta and Upanishads is the same.
Ooh, I'm super excited about this, guys. I've been waiting to dig into these texts. I almost did the Mandukya on my own, like reading it on my own, not any teaching, had no helping, no guiding. I almost just started reading the texts on my own when I first found out about them. I'm glad I didn't.
This is from the Vedanta Sara. Many of the things we'll talk about, Vedanta Sara gives precise definitions, what exactly those terms mean. But fine, even if you have not attended those classes, or you have attended those classes but you have forgotten, which is very natural, what we did in all of that, doesn't matter. It's all there, it's recorded, thanks to modern technology, it's up there. Now, today, before we dive into the Katha Upanishad and begin this long journey together, let me give a little context about what all this is all about. We all know this, but still, quickly. All this is from the Vedic literature. The Vedas are the foundational, the root texts of Hinduism. They are very...
I did a video or a reaction to the Vedas. I will drop a link right here if you want to watch it after this one.
Ancient. If you go to a traditional Pandit, the Pandit will tell you they are timeless. They have always been existing with God, and God breathed them out. God, like exhaling, breathed out this Vedas, or revealed these Vedas to specially blessed rishis. Rishis are the sages, the Vedic sages. They're defined. A rishi is defined as Rishaya Mantra Drashtara. The rishis are those who saw these Vedic mantras, literally saw them. A traditional Pandit would say, take it literally. They actually saw these mantras, these texts in Sanskrit, in these words. Now, if you think that's a little far-fetched, Swami Vivekananda gave a much more maybe reasonable interpretation. These Upanishads, or the Vedas themselves, are the spiritual realizations of the rishis. So there are these spiritual truths ever existing, just like scientists discover scientific truths about nature. These rishis discovered these spiritual truths. So they are, Veda means spiritual knowledge, and the spiritual knowledge was revealed to the rishis.
I love how they spent their time. Back then there must have been all kinds of time to think, and I love the way that y'all spent your time trying to figure out the spirituality of life and writing it down. And I love that. I try to do the same, but I know the impact is way less.
The rishis discovered them as a part of at the culmination of the spiritual practices. So we have this Vedas, spiritual knowledge, discovered by, revealed to, have it your way, to the rishis. They're obviously in Sanskrit, a very ancient form of Sanskrit, predating classical Sanskrit. And at some time, long ago, long before the Buddha himself, this entire literature was classified into 4 Vedas by Veda Vyasa. It literally means the one who classified the Vedas.
So the first interpretation Swamiji got was that they physically saw these in ancient Sanskrit texts, like they actually saw the texts. But he says it sounds a little far-fetched. I like where we're going here. Let's see where it goes.
The Rig Veda, the Sama Veda, the Yajur Veda. Yajur Veda has 2 branches, the Krishna Yajur Veda and Shukla Yajur Veda. And then finally the Atharva Veda. Rig Veda, Sama Veda, Yajur Veda, Atharva Veda. These are
It's so much, and I still feel like I am starting in the very middle. Somebody reassure me, please.
Sections of Vedic literature, Vedic texts. All right. And Upanishads are part of these. They're scattered across these Vedas.
All right.
Now, what do these Vedas contain? What are they all about? They have been given by God through the rishis down to us by a teaching lineage for the benefit of humanity. What kind of benefit of humanity? Well, the Vedas themselves...
I'm so glad I got blessed with the next person to be able to spread this knowledge and to be able to better humanity with it. I promise I will.
Have a clear division. All these Vedas, across the 4 Vedas, most of them, the bulk of this literature across the 4 Vedas, are concerned with rituals. Karma Kanda, the section dealing with karma. Karma literally means action, but here it means ritualistic action, religious action.
Mm-hmm.
So the kind of rituals you find in the Vedic times, again, long before the Buddha, were not the pujas which you associate with Hinduism today, temples and deities and pujas, but they were the fire rituals on a small scale or on a massive scale, and there will be altars, fire would be lit, offerings would be given to the Vedic deities, specially trained priests of different categories. They would chant the mantras which are embodied in the Vedas, and the idea would be to get certain benefits. These benefits could be worldly or otherworldly. Worldly means the goals were dharma, artha, kama. One might want wealth or children, or might want rainfall to come and protect the for nourishment of the crops. My livestock be healthy. Let me get a wonderful harvest this season. Let the king might want to win over his enemies in battle. All of these, the
worldly
Karma Kanda said, we have rituals which will employ these supernatural forces in your aid, and it'll work. You still have to do the thing. You have to go and fight the enemy. You have to go and till the soil. You have to take out the cows to pasture. All of that has to go on. The Vedic gods will not come and do that for you.
Faith without works is dead. You got to put in the action, guys. Manifestation doesn't just happen by itself. You have to put in the action. And procrastination is its arch enemy.
But by their blessings, success is ensured. And so you get what you want in life by the performance of these rituals. It may sound a little weird, but it's not actually. If you think about it, it seems, yeah, I recognize that. You look at what's going on in temples and churches and mosques and religion all through the ages, all across the world. Most of religion is basically this. We want the blessings of God or whoever we are praying to, so that what we want in life, we get it. And what we want in life is mostly very worldly. So
why did religion leave off the first leave off the main, the base, the tunya? Why did they leave off the we are all one part? That's like where you need to start with religion and spirituality, and they just completely left it off because it seems spooky, but it's not. Wow. Forgot my point.
We may have specific desires, or we just may want the blessings of God. The things may go well with us.
Okay.
Our families may be healthy. The children may grow up healthy and strong, and people of good character, and so on. My boss may be happy with me, and whatnot. You can have all of those desires. Those are worldly desires, and religion. Not just the Vedas, not just these ancient 5,000-year-old Indian rishis, but religion in general promises God will help you to lead a better life and give you a set of morals and ethics which you need for a good person.
Which we are lacking in this day and age. And I think it's just because it's the information age, and all the shit that people used to be able to get away with talking about before, when there wasn't any information to back up what they say. They just talked out of their ass, like a woman had a baby without having sex, that type of shit, and people are like, oh, I guess that really happened. You can't do it anymore.
Personal life and for building civilization.
Technology, we're missing the ethical morals. Because we all get real big and bad behind the keyboard. Nobody gets punched in the mouth anymore. We're missing that. Go back to punching people in the mouth. Kindly. Slap them. I'm kidding. Don't do it. But it needs to come back.
The bulk of religion has always been this, and there's nothing wrong in it. But that's not the ultimate purpose of religion. There is a higher religion. There is a spirituality. What is that? Now see, these actions which we'll come to that is the Upanishads. That is called the knowledge portion. So this is the action portion or karma portion, ritualistic portion, and the knowledge portion, karma kanda and jnana kanda. Now the action, why is it called an action portion? Because you are supposed to perform certain actions to get something that you don't have yet. So what were these actions? They were actions performed by the body, they were actions performed by speech, they were actions performed in the mind. Physical, verbal, mental actions. Physical actions were the rituals that the priests performed, and the one called the Yajamana, the one for whose benefit this was being performed, one who's sponsoring this usually expensive kind of ritual. So they performed some physical actions like offerings and all. And then there were verbal actions. So the mantras, which you find in the Vedic literature, they were chanted by trained priests to get the desired results. It's very important to chant it properly by having people who have been technically trained. Even now it goes on, it's still there. One beautiful thing and interesting thing about Hinduism is nothing ever goes out of fashion. Layers and layers come. So you can do an archaeology of religion. If you dig into what is there in living in Hinduism, you will come across layers which date back 5,000 years.
The chants hit because of their frequency, I'm sure. Sound frequencies can do a lot of good for you. If you ever get a critical diagnosis, please listen to music 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, as much as you possibly can. Music that you love and that you feel. That'll heal you faster than any, what is it called when you get cancer? Chemotherapy. It kills your cells in your body. Music heals them.
In every Hindu ritual today, modern Hindu ritual, you'll find a lamp is burning. The first thing you do is light the lamp. And that lamp is, it actually represents the ancient Vedic fires. So, and of course, the fire rituals are still there in a smaller scale in large Hindu pujas. So that goes on. There is physical action, there is verbal action, the recitation of mantras, and mental action, which are called upasana. Upasana means certain visualizations which are performed. And all of this was supposed to generate a certain merit, a potentiality, technical name apurva, which will give rise to the results. And obviously, you say, but you have to believe this is just a matter of faith. Yes, it's a matter of faith. We strongly believed in this. And
faith is very, very important, especially when you're trying to manifest shit. The smallest seed of doubt will derail the whole process. So faith is very, very important when it comes to the manifestation process.
Not only worldly, more importantly, there are other worldly results to be had. So after death, one would go to any number of heavens. There's not just one heaven, there are multiple heavens. And
it's like there's multiple infinities. If you didn't know that, now you do. So yeah.
Have different privileges and facilities for you. Some heavens are much better than others. And you need a lot of that apurva, that potentiality. So you have to have many of those rituals or the big expensive ones performed, which would require money. And the priests would, you would have to pay them well. And so they ensure that you, after physical death, you, the sentient being, they're very clear about this. Physical death is not the end. Physical birth is not the beginning. The subtle body, the sentient being, the jiva, transmigrates. It goes on life after life. That is already understood by the time of the Vedas.
All right. I like that. What do y'all want to be next time around? I want to be a tree in the middle of the Amazon rainforest. I don't want to be another human again. It's a rough life.
Yes. You will go to these heavens depending on your credit. If you're in good standing, your karma account is good, you go to heavens. But none of those heavens.
Well, I'm glad mine reset then. My karma meter was so high in the negative that I almost died. In fact, I did die. I had respiratory failure. I was only kept alive by a respirator at one point. I was in an induced coma for about a month. They took off half of my skull, the right side. Oh no, sorry. Yeah, the right side. Anyways, Anyways, I can't use my left side anymore because of it. But the positive thing is, I think I wiped my karma slate clean, so now maybe I can get into one of these multiple heavens. Let's see.
Whether in none of those heavens and none of the worldly results also. Nothing is eternal. This was understood in Karma Kanda. Whatever is produced will be limited and will come to an end. So whatever you get in this world will be limited, will come to an end. And the heavens that you go to, it may last for centuries or even millennia, still come to an end. The Gita says, Kshine punye matyalokam vishanti. Once your punya, your merit is exhausted, you have exhausted your credit, you'll be tossed out of heaven. And they describe how bewailing their fate, these souls, they tumble back to earth. That means you're reborn again in this human birth to continue your journey.
And to hopefully help better humanity, continue to help better humanity. God knows we need it.
So this was the idea of this cycle, to ensure that you get a good deal in this life and afterlife. Religion is there to help you. But very soon people saw the limitation of all of this. You don't get anything permanent. And it's just an extension of these worldly pleasures that you get in these heavens. Maybe much better, but still, there's nothing deep. And then, what about the big questions of life? What is the ultimate reality? What is the purpose of this life? Is this merry-go-round, that's all? You go on this ride again and again and again. You get dizzy after some time.
What do you guys think the purpose is? I think it is to be in service of others and to sacrifice for others. I think that's the whole purpose. We're here to do that. Be in service to others and sacrifice your own happiness and well-being for others' gain.
Time. What's the point of it? And is there an ultimate goal? And is there anything eternal? Is there any...
Anyways, what do you guys think it is? Let me know in the comments.
Release from this cycle of births and deaths. Some good ones, some bad ones. I understand the Vedic rituals will probably ensure me a good ride on the merry-go-round, but still, I'm still on the merry-go-round. You know, they say if you are in the rat race, you're still a rat, even if you win the rat race. Yeah. You've got a lot of Vedic rituals backing you up, and so you're top rat, but still a rat. So what lies beyond this? If you are unhappy with this, if you're not satisfied with this, and who would really be? A mature person would say, I want the ultimate truth. I want peace. I want fulfillment. I want to overcome suffering, like the Buddha said. Then the Vedas say, good. That's what we also want for you.
Awesome.
There is something beyond all this that is called moksha, spiritual liberation or freedom.
And that's what we're all aiming for, right, guys? That's where my journey is taking me. It's kind of crazy that it's gone this way, but it should be a testament on how God works in weird, crazy ways. You just gotta trust Him. I had no idea I was gonna go down the Vedanta route. No idea. Never even heard of it before, and now I'm balls deep, and I can't stop.
And we have something in our store. They will take you to the side of the store and open up a little secret locker, the vault, and bring out the real goodies. These goodies are the Upanishads. They will solve this problem once for all. This round of births and deaths, freedom from that, something eternal, that which gives you ultimate fulfillment and takes you beyond this round.
So there is something eternal. You just said there wasn't, but there is, and it is the wisdom and the knowledge that we take with us. So wisdom and knowledge must be eternal.
Sound of tears and smiles. That is Jnana Kanda, the knowledge portion, the philosophical portion, the spiritual portion, the higher religion, spirituality. So Vedanta, Upanishads Vedas make a clear distinction between the Karma Kanda and the Jnana Kanda. Just by the way, the Karma Kanda itself can be further divided into the Karma portion and the Upasana portion. Karma portion are the
I wish it wouldn't split off so many damn times. it makes me think that I am swimming in the middle of the Pacific Ocean and I don't know which way to go.
The physical and the verbal actions, and the upasana is the mental actions, the meditations. So one can say that the Vedas have three divisions: karma, upasana, jnana. The action, the ritualistic action portion, the meditation portion, and the knowledge portion. But the ritualistic action and the physical action, they are all actions, so they belong to that, the earlier portion. Real spirituality, what you call God realization, self-realization, Brahma Jnana, the goal being moksha, nirvana, whatever you call it. There are many names used in ancient India. Nirvana is pre-Buddhistic, and it becomes...
I like Nirvana. The band and the word and just using it to describe what we're talking about.
Famous with Buddhism. So moksha, nirvana, kaivalya,
spirituality,
these apavarga, multiple names were used for this ultimate highest goal. And the Vedas actually want you to attain this. If religion, the Vedas and all religion actually want you to attain God realization or Brahma Jnana, and that means liberation, moksha, whatever it is, then why did they, the question will be, why did they speak about all this? Why is so much literature devoted to worldliness? Why, if all those things are lower, they're just...
Religion dumbed it down big time, and I'm pretty sure it was all about control. Just imagine if everybody knew that they were a god and they could manifest whatever they wanted as long as they put in the effort and had all the faith in the world with no doubt at all. Imagine if everybody knew that. Yeah, that's why religion dumbed it down. But that's why we're here, to let the spirituality shine, just like Latonia.
Perpetuate the cycle of birth and death. If the goal is to be free of the cycle of birth and death, then why perpetuate that? If the goal is to be infinite, why lock a person into finite existence through these rituals and all? Because you want it, you ordered it. Until we evolve to the point when we see that finite nature cannot satisfy us. We are infinite, only infinity can satisfy us. We are made of God stuff, only God can satisfy us.
Man, boom.
Only God.
We are made of the stars, y'all. Every single piece of us started in the Big Bang. I think. We are all made of star material. We are the universe experiencing itself.
God can fill the God-shaped hole in our lives. Until we come to that point, until we are grown up in spiritual life, we'll continue to be babies in spiritual life. And for babies in spiritual life, either you can be very strict and say, Mandukya or nothing, my way or the highway. You do your worldly stuff, I have nothing to do with it. When you suffer enough, get enough kicks and blows, come to me, I'll show you the way out of it. That's a harsh, rather harsh. And the religions, the Vedas, are compared to a mother, a compassionate mother. And the religions of the world also, they are compassionate. What we want in life, they show us a wiser way of. We want to be very happy, we want to get all the goodies without doing the hard work, and we want to be spared all the nastiness which we deserve because of the nasty things we did. All of those things which we want, religion says, yes, you can have it, I'll show you a better way of getting it. And the better way would be an ethical way, depending on God, pursuing the same worldly goals. So that is the life of most ordinary religious people around the world. If you see, you just have to open your eyes.
And that's fine, whatever makes you happy. If it has to be materialistic, if you have to see it to make you happy, so be it. I ain't mad at you, man. I was there once. But there's a lot more to this existence than just the physical plane that you see. Trust me. I mean, we can send files through the air, guys. You don't even need physical like games or DVDs anymore, CDs. You just send that shit right through the air. Isn't that wild? That's crazy. So why wouldn't there be all this other crazy shit too?
And look, what are the people who are going to the temples and churches? What's going on there? What are they praying for?
I think the purpose for temples and churches is just for the gathering of people for the same purpose, and you get the same frequencies out of a whole bunch of different people, and I think it's healing and fulfilling, and it just makes prayer way more powerful, even though your thoughts are the most potent when you're alone. Remember that, guys.
And this also develops the faith in the Vedas. This develops the faith in religion. That when I am finally done with that, when I really want to, by that time already I have a sense of God, I have a sense of an ultimate reality, Brahman, Atman, then I seek that alone. So it's a gradual path. So do I have to start with the karma kanda? Do I have to start with rituals? Not at all. Not at all. Those who are here in the Vedanta Society or those who are listening to these talks, already we have a sense that that we want the highest. We have a sense of maturity about the world. I have seen and I've seen through the things of this world. One of the Upanishads, Mundaka Upanishad says, Parikshya lokan karmachitan brahmana. The spiritual seeker, having examined what can be attained by karma, worldly action and Vedic action, whatever can be attained by that, having examined all of that, develops dispassion for all of that I don't want it. It's not something I'm interested in. I've seen enough of it. It might be a baby, but
yeah, it always lets you down. Never gonna give you
it might be an ancient soul in a baby body. So little children might be very spiritual sometimes, and old people with beards and at the end of their lives might be very childish also. It's the soul, the jivatma, which soul may I mean jivatma, the sentient being.
So here's a fun science fact. The argumentative part of our brains, that makes us want to argue like we're kids, it never matures, and that's why adults, old ass people, still have a problem fighting with each other. Yeah, it's because that part of the brain doesn't mature.
Individual beings, us, it evolves over time through knowledge and experience and knowledge. Sarva karma khilam partha jnane parisamapyate. All action, O Arjuna, Krishna says in the Gita, culminates in experience, in knowledge. Ultimate knowledge, enlightenment. But before that, this much knowledge, this is the experience I take away from this life. You might ask, but the problem is I don't remember my past life, so all the knowledge is lost. No, it's not lost. Memories are lost, or memories are not even that, memories are inaccessible to us. Doesn't matter. Memory is a weak thing. Do we really learn from memory? We don't. How many times we know what is...
It's the last part of your brain to die. That's why your life flashes before your eyes. It's because it's the last area of your brain to lose oxygen, the memory bank part. So, how about that? It's the last thing we think of, but then we leave it behind immediately. That's somewhat poetically beautiful, in my opinion.
It's wrong, we remember it very well, end up repeating it. We know what is right, we don't do it. So
everything is a cycle if you allow it. Now, if you put force against it, you can stop it, but if there's no force being put against it, especially this is for you guys with addiction problems, if you're not continuously putting a force against that cycle, stopping it, it will continue. You have to actively try to not use drugs. So basically what I'm saying is go to an AA meeting, get a sponsor.
Or conscious knowledge, conscious memory is a very weak thing. Then what is powerful? Samskara. Character is powerful. General tendency of a personality is powerful. What is this character? What is this general tendency? It is the accumulated tendencies of many lives. It's called samskaras. The French existentialists said it right. They say don't listen to what a person says. Watch what that person does.
Yeah, I like that saying.
We speak about many things that we may...
Actions speak louder than words, everybody. Actions speak louder than words. You can say whatever the hell you want, but if you're not putting your actions behind it, then it's just meaningless, pointless. So, faith without works is what? Is dead.
May want, we may have read about, we may have understood, but that may not represent the truth of what we are at this point. Luckily, our samskaras are not our real nature. Even beyond our samskaras is the real nature, Atman, which is already perfect. Because if samskaras are who we are, then it seems to be an endless toil, very difficult to change. And it's a long lifetime after lifetime. No, you already are that perfect reality. That's what Vedanta will teach us. Now, when we come to the Upanishads, the Vedas say, come to these texts. Forget the ritualistic portion.
I keep having to remind myself that this is just the introduction. We're not actually going through the text yet. Although I did hear him hit on a couple of them. The ones where he's chanting the mantras, I'm assuming those are from the texts.
Portion. By the way, when I say forget, just something it might create a little doubt. If we are spiritual seekers now, so are we going to forget all the rituals? Maybe we don't do fire sacrifices, but we do some rituals. Many of us are temple goers, church goers. We have devotion. We like hymns. We like do puja. We put flowers. And no, they are not useless. For a spiritual seeker, they are useful. So this thing is very well understood in the Vedas. Those who want worldly things and otherworldly things, you perform these rituals with desire. The Sanskrit word is sakama, and you will get those results. Those who do not want these things, they want only God realization, self-knowledge, enlightenment, I'm using the term broadly. You too can perform these rituals, but selflessly, without desire, nishkama. Why would you perform them? They will help you to get what you want.
Maybe have it to where the ritual is you putting out energy to help other people. I think that would be better. That's what we need to start. That's why I say go love somebody you don't like, guys, because you gotta love them. It's you. I mean, that's you. That person you hate in your brain, it's gonna rub up on how you feel about yourself, guys. You have to love other people to be able to love yourself properly. It's non-negotiable. It has these these will become spiritual practices. The same flowers and incense and the same deity. No longer you want worldly things or going to heaven after that. What you want now is, I want purity of mind. I want dispassion for worldliness. I want self-control. Yeah, those are all the higher level stuff. I'm right there. This is where I'm at in life. I forgot my point. I'll remember it in a second. I want concentration. I want devotion. I want enlightenment. You can pray for those same things too. Worldly things kick the shit out of you. That's what I was gonna say. So eventually you're like, I'm good with that. Y'all can go ahead and have it, but because man, it's rough. It's tough. Kicks the shit out of you every time. Doesn't discriminate. The same God to whom we are praying for worldly things earlier. Now you can pray for these. Notice, and whenever you have these questions, a very good way to find out the answer in a satisfying way is to look at the lives of great spiritual practitioners. Google. The answer is Google, Swamiji. I'm kidding. Sri Ramakrishna wanted only Kali. But notice, he performed rituals. Thousands of others who were coming to the Kali temple, they were coming there for worldly gains. But he was not in the Kali temple for worldly gains. He wanted God realization. But he still performed the same ritual. The same Kali puja which somebody else might perform for worldly things. So the rituals, the Vedic rituals also can be performed without desire. Again, Vedanta Sar. Almost many of, just about everything of this has been indicated in Vedanta Sar. Vedanta Sar says all these rituals have twofold effects. One, for those with desire, it will give them what they want. Those without desire, if they perform it, it will give them chitta shuddhi, purification. Okay. See, from this comes the entire idea of karma yoga. So you have to sacrifice one for the other. And I think I did that about 10 years ago. I sacrificed my worldly life for a spiritual journey. And it all starts with isolation, guys. I was forced to isolate, and it made me have to live comfortably in my own head. And I think that's really key. And it starts with solitude. That's why Jesus went into the desert and others went into the mountains and stuff. It's all isolation so you can find yourself. Let's go.
That same karma which you are performing for worldly success earlier, now Krishna says to Arjuna, the same battle you fight because it is right and because it will help you in your ultimate goal of spiritual perfection. So that's the point, that yes, those rituals are valid. You can still go to the temple, and you should. You can still do a puja or attend a puja, and you can worship God, pray to God.
It's just how you direct your energy, correct? I would think. I mean, you can do the same ritual with different energy. You know, take responsibility for what you're putting back into the universe, guys. Whatever you put out, it's seeking in all of our heads. So take responsibility and think positive shit, please.
It will help you in this Upanishadic quest for self-knowledge and moksha, liberation. In fact, that's exactly what God wants from you. God wants from us is this. God wants us to find God. All the other things, Sri Ramakrishna puts it beautifully. As long as the child is playing with the toys, the mother is busy. She has a lot of things to do. She has to look after the universe.
Yeah. He brings up a good point though. Kids, that's the purest form of human. They haven't been jaded. All they know, they come into this life to be loved and to love and to play and have fun. And then one day you get too close to the coffee table and your mom scolds you, and that hits hard because before you could do no wrong in anybody's eyes. You're a little baby. You couldn't do any wrong. And now this hits you so strongly that you start changing who you are, who your real self is, so you can get the reward instead of the punishment. We were domesticated, guys. You need it. It's not about what you need to learn. It's what you unlearn and relearn.
She's busy in her kitchen. But when the baby throws the toys away, and Sri Ramakrishna would demonstrate physically, and weeps and howls, mother. Then the mother puts down whatever she is doing. She puts all of that down and rushes to the baby and takes the baby on her lap. This is what, so the baby has moved from Karma Kanda to Jnana Kanda.
Okay.
From worldly desires to the desire for God, spirituality. Now, how is this different? We are all trained in the Vedic Karma Kanda now. Imagine what kind of religion we are trained in doing things. Physical, verbal, mental. So now we are trained in that. We come to the new thing, that Jnana Kanda, the knowledge portion. Immediately we want to know, so what should I do? Yes, I want to be enlightened. I should want to be free. What should I do? And the Upanishad, the first shock we get is Upanishad tells us nothing. What? Nothing. Yes, nothing. You can't do anything to attain what this enlightenment. You can't. Because what you are looking for is you yourself. Your own very...
Oh, that hits hard. Woo! Damn this Vendetta. Advaita Vedanta is poetically beautiful, guys.
Self, the real self, that's what you're looking for. And there is no need, and nothing can be done, in fact, to attain yourself, because you are always yourself. Then what is the problem? The problem is you don't know it. We don't know that. Ignorance is the problem. Notice, in the Karma Kanda, what was the problem? Non-attainment was the problem. Wealth, rainfall, defeating the enemy, getting children, going to heaven, all of those are attainments. I get this, that, and the other thing, and I'll be happier and happier and happier. Doesn't work.
So, no actions need to be taken to become spiritual. You just need to I guess, come to the realization, find the right teacher, I guess. I don't know. Let's see where he's going.
But that's what we thought. Now it's reversed. There's nothing to get. It's already there. And you are already that. So
it's reversed because now, instead of wanting it for yourself, you're wanting it for other people, I think. I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong.
The whole of Vedanta Upanishads are summed up as Tattvamasi. Some terms. We know all this. I'm quickly rushing through it. Vedanta. You're talking about Veda, but why are you saying Vedanta now? Because this is that portion of the Vedas which tells you the highest teaching of the Vedas. Veda Anta. Anta means end, but end here in the sense of Siddhanta. End means not physically at the end of the Vedas, but at the ultimate, highest, final conclusions, the highest spirituality that you can get from the Vedas is called Vedanta. What's the connection with the Upanishads? Upanishads are those special texts which give you this. The rest talk about rituals or meditations.
This is all perfect for me because I am exactly at the point where I am switching from materialistic to spiritualistic. I am right there at that moment in life, so this is perfect. It's everything's lining up beautifully for me, guys. Just like it always does. Everything always works out for the greater good. Don't be worried or concern yourself with problems. It all works out for the greater good. Always. Always. But faith without works is dead, so you have to put in the work. The Upanishads talk about that knowledge. And why is it knowledge? Because the problem now is not of non-attainment. It's already attained. But we do not know this real nature. So the problem is ignorance. And like any kind of ignorance, the solution is knowledge. Yes, sir. So, but they do say there is a saying, ignorance is bliss. And it's just because you're too stupid to know anything. Ignorance is bliss. Especially here in the South. It won't happen automatically. Just as in the Karma Kanda portion, what you wanted will not happen automatically. You have to put in the hard work and you have to do these rituals to please God, gods, whatever it is, and finally you'll get it. Similarly here also, ignorance is natural. Natural in the sense you're born with it. Every kind of ignorance is natural. So suppose I don't know Spanish. It's always been there, the case that I don't know Spanish. But if I want to change the situation, if I want to know Spanish, I have to put in the effort to get that knowledge. So knowledge has to be now acquired. Not something to be done, but something to be known. And here, the special object of this knowledge is not an object. That's the key difference. Known and done. You're going to do it, it's going to switch to, you're going to learn it. That's the thing. The special object of the knowledge here is the subject, is you yourself. Self-knowledge is the name of the game here. So, Upanishad, before we go into it, let me define the term Upanishad. So there's certain words I wanted to define here, like Vedanta. So what is Vedanta? Siddhanta. Siddhanta, ultimate conclusion of Veda. Sometimes Vedanta is taken as the end of the Vedas because in the Vedic corpus, sometimes you find the Upanishads at the end of the Vedic collections, like the Rig Veda, the Veda Samhitas. In one of the Samhitas, Isha Upanishad is the 40th chapter, last chapter in the Samhita, but not always. Not always. Sometimes the Upanishads are in the middle somewhere. The Upanishad that we have done, Mandukya, is from the Atharva Veda. Now, these Upanishads are called Vedanta because they teach the ultimate, the highest teaching. But what does the term Upanishad itself mean? The Upanishad, the term Upanishad, this is a good point to define it because Shankaracharya in his commentary on the Katha Upanishad has, the introduction is mostly explanation of the term Upanishad. So what does Upanishad mean?
Upanishad, the word, the Sanskrit word Upanishad, can be split up, analyzed into Upa and Ni. These are two prefixes. Prefix Upa, Ni. Then there's a verb, a verbal root called Sat. And there is a suffix which you don't see because because rules of Sanskrit grammar, it disappears finally. That suffix is called quip. If you want to write in English, KVIP, quip. Upa, UPA, Upa. Plus Ni, NI. Plus Sad, SAD or SAT. And then plus quip, KVIP. It's a Sanskrit grammar suffix. By the rules of Sanskrit grammar, Upa stays, Ni stays, Sat stays, but quip disappears. But quip disappears, but quip, the meaning of quip is retained. The meaning is the agent, that which does something, Katha. All right, so what do they mean? Upa means near, near something, proximity. So what does this mean in terms of Upanishad? The first meaning, the surface meaning of Upa would be to go near the teacher. To go near the teacher. Or a deeper meaning would be to go near this knowledge. That means to acquire this knowledge. And the deepest meaning of Upa is, since it's proximity without limit. What is the most proximate thing to you? What is the closest thing to you, the nearest thing to you? You yourself. There can't be anything nearer than that. The self. So Upa means self. Okay. That's the deepest meaning. Now, don't immediately say self, because then anyone who knows Sanskrit will say, what nonsense has your teacher taught you? Upa means near. But the deeper philosophical meaning of that would be, in this context only, would be the nearest of the near, which is the self. Then Ni means clarity, nishchaya, conviction, free from any doubt, beyond doubt, absolutely certain. That is nishchaya. Sat, the root, the verbal roots, the verb roots sat has three meanings: Visharana, Gati, Avasadana. According to Shankara, let me explain. The primary meaning is Gati. Gati means the goal, to take you to the goal. So here Gati is Brahman, the ultimate reality, that which takes you to the goal. Related meaning is Avagati. Avagati means knowledge. Therefore, it Sad means that knowledge which takes you to the goal, Brahman. And takes you here does not mean a physical journey. You're not going on a pilgrimage to Brahman. It's the knowledge which reveals that you are Brahman. That's the meaning of Gati. Where does this Gati come from? It's one of the meanings of Sat. Then Shankaracharya says there's a second meaning of Sat, which is Visharana, to split or destroy. To split or destroy. Split, cut, destroy. Splits, cuts, destroys what? My ignorance about myself. If there was no ignorance, there would be no need of Upanishads. But there is ignorance about myself. The Upanishads say, Vedanta says, you are seriously misinformed about yours. You do not know who or what you are.
I would agree with that. But I have started to find out more. And I encourage you as well. I did a reaction to his video, Who Am I? And if you haven't heard his lecture on that, I suggest you watch that reaction. And he explains a lot of shit in there beautifully, absolutely poetically beautiful.
So that ignorance is cut, split, destroyed. Sanskrit, Visharana. All of this is from Shankara's introduction to the Katha Upanishad. Visharana, it destroys ignorance. And finally, Avasadana. Avasadana means loosens, relaxes, loosens. It loosens the bondages of samsara. Even before full enlightenment, it sets you free, gives you peace of mind, sets you free from. There's a technical meaning of that. And let me tell you, because otherwise you'll be confused if you read Shankara's introduction. He says, the Upanishad also loosens the bonds of samsara. How? Because apart from the ultimate realization of Brahman, you will see in the Katha Upanishad and on the other Upanishads something that you have not seen in the Mandukya. the certain remnants of the karma kanda you will see here. It says that if you perform those rituals this time without any desire, even if you don't get enlightenment, you will attain to the highest of those heavens, which is Brahmaloka. And you will never come back again to this world of human birth. So you will never enter a cycle of suffering again. But you will still not be enlightened. You will remain in Brahmaloka. From there on, you will get ultimately enlightenment. This is called Krama Mukti. Krama Mukti means liberation sequentially. In contrast to Sadhyo Mukti. Sadhyo Mukti means liberation here and now. Upanishad, Advaita Vedanta wants us to attain enlightenment and liberation here and now. Here, in this life, now itself. But suppose it doesn't happen. Can the Upanishads help me in some other way, or have I lost everything? As Krishna says to Arjuna, it's not lost. Nothing is lost. You will attain to the highest state possible, below enlightenment, and continue your spiritual journey. Okay. So, put it all together. Quip means the agent or the Katha which does all this. Now, if you put it all together, Upa, the Atman, the self, Ni, conviction, clarity, certainty, Sad, the knowledge which takes you to that, the destruction of ignorance, and loosening the bonds of samsara. That which Quip, that which makes you do all this, or that which gives you all this. And it's like when you say, I made a house, you mean that you contracted out the job to other people, you made other people make the house for you. Similarly, Upanishad is that which gives us the knowledge which about the self, which sets us free. Put it in one word, Upanishad is the knowledge of the self. Atma Vidya. In Sanskrit, Atma Vidya. Vidya is knowledge. Atma is the self, the real self. Because in Vedanta, Atman and Brahman are the same thing, so it can also call it Brahma Vidya, the knowledge of Brahman. So one word, Upanishad is equal to Atma Vidya, is equal to Brahma Vidya, the knowledge of the self, knowledge of Brahman. Now Shankaracharya in his commentary also says, hey, wait a minute. I say I am reading the Upanishad. How can it be I am reading this knowledge of Brahman? I have got all the Upanishads. I purchased them. So how can you get knowledge of Brahman from Amazon? So these might be little nitpicking, but they're very careful. Say, yes, you're right. When we normally speak about Upanishads, you mean the book. So Upanishad, the word Upanishad primarily refers to knowledge of the self, knowledge of Atman or Brahman, and secondarily it refers to the book, the texts, the different texts which are called Upanishads. The secondary meaning of Upanishad is the book. Real meaning, the knowledge, that which gives you enlightenment and sets you free. In fact, enlightenment itself is the meaning of Upanishads. Oh, that reminds me. Good. Book. People keep asking what book. We have already said that. Any Katha Upanishad book, if you get on the market from the Vedanta Society, Ramakrishna Mission publications, or Chinmay Mission, and others are also available. The one which I am using is this set of 2 volumes, 8 Upanishads, translated by Swami Gambhiranandaji, volume 1 and 2. It's available from Vedanta Press. You can always get it.
I'm going to see if I can find a torrent file.
But you can get any other version also. That's fine, as long as it has the text. This has the advantage of the original Devanagari text of the Upanishad and the precise. Swami Gambhiranji was very precise. His translations might not be very lucid, but they are very, very accurate. So the translation of the Upanishad and the translation of the commentary of Shankara. So what you see here in English, all of this is the commentary, introduction given by Shankaracharya. The Sanskrit is not there, but a precise English translation is there. What I'll be teaching is the original Upanishad, and I use the Gita Press book with the original commentary of Shankaracharya. That's mainly will be my basis of teaching. So that is the meaning of the word Upanishad. How many Upanishads we have already seen? Our syllabus is going to be 8 of the 10 major Upanishads. We've already done Mandukya once. We're going to do 7 others, some completely, some partially. These 8 Upanishads will help you with 5 of them. The 2, Chandogya and Brihadaranyaka, they're very big. That's years later, down the road. All right.
It's so vast, guys. It really feels like you're in the middle of an ocean. And there's just vastness everywhere. And you definitely need somebody to hold your hand to guide you. That's what it's feeling like for me.
Right. Now, self-knowledge. So the Upanishad will give us that knowledge. How will it give us that knowledge? You must know how to use an Upanishad. How to use that Upanishad? Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. We have done all this many times over. You must study it systematically. You must literally hear it, but it must be taught by a competent teacher, and you listen to it, grasp the meaning of the text, after which there will be doubts. So you contemplate the meaning of the texts, reason it out, and then once
doubts always creep in whenever you just reach a breakthrough. Just remember that. The devil always comes to try to steal your joy immediately after your breakthrough. So you got to be very aware of that. It's coming. The opposite's coming. You can't have one without the other. You got to blend them. Blend opposites.
Once you have got clarity about it, meditate upon it, it becomes a living reality. You see that it's a fact. There is the opposite, contrary tendencies of behaving as a body mind, as a limited person, are overcome, and you realize your infinite nature. It becomes a living reality. That is it.
I love how low key is just teaching manifestation. That's basically what we're learning here, guys, is how to manifest and be faithful while doing it.
The enlightenment, that's the freedom promised by the Upanishads. What is the result of that? The result of that is what we have been seeking all along, even in the Karma Kanda and before that also. Everybody, every living being seeks that, to overcome suffering and to attain fulfillment. That will finally happen. And that's the goal which has been promised. Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. This process is called Jnana Yoga. Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana together. What are you doing Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana of? The Upanishads and the Upanishadic literature. So now we come to the Upanishadic literature. These Upanishads, not just these 10, but there are many others also. The Muktika Upanishad itself gives a list of 108, but primarily these 10. Now there is a whole literature based on this.
I'm just going to stop even thinking about the branches off. I'm going to concentrate on this one here so it doesn't seem so overwhelming for me, because it sure the hell does.
Krishna uses these Upanishads and gives a condensed message of the Upanishads to Arjuna. That's the Bhagavad Gita. So there are many people who say, oh, Upanishads are the final highest teachings of Vedanta, but we have not read the Upanishads. In many cases, you have read the Gita. And people say, yeah, we have read the Gita. That's good enough. So the Gita is the condensed message of the Upanishads. Sometimes Krishna actually quotes from the actual, from Katha Upanishad, for example, in some place. So what has been taught in the Upanishads? And they all carry the same message. And Krishna teaches that to Arjuna, and in a very practical way. Upanishads, we'll see it sounds, if you remember Mandukya Upanishad, Mandukya Karika, very abstract and very philosophical. But how do you apply it in day-to-day life? How do you talk? How do you eat? How do you react to situations? How do you keep calm? How do you lead a virtuous life in the midst of travail? All of that Gita tells you. It actualizes the Upanishads. And then there's another text based on the Upanishads called the Brahma Sutras. One of our Swamis translated it as God formulae, the formulas of God. Brahma Sutras. Sutras are very compact formulae, aphorisms. What is this? It was composed by Badarayana Vyasa.
I've heard of sutras before. Isn't it like Karma Sutras? Am I off on that? I think that's what we're getting to. I could be wrong.
Who takes up questions which arise from the Upanishads. When you read the Upanishads, they are mystical, they are radical, they are very deep, and sometimes they're elusive. So how do you reconcile? Each Upanishad seems to give an independent view of reality. Although they're telling the same story, but you said, how do you know they're telling the same story? Because they use different terminology for the individual self. They use different terminology for the ultimate reality. So how do you know they're talking about the same thing?
It's just viewed from a different perspective, which is very important to learn, guys. Just because you saw what you saw doesn't mean someone else saw the same thing. They saw it from a different angle, different perspective. It could look like something totally different happened to somebody else. Please take that into account when you are debating with somebody or whatnot. Please get along.
All this reconciling is done in the Brahma Sutras. Then what about
While I'm talking about getting along, we got to understand that in order for democracy to work, there has to be compromise, guys. It's the name of the game. If you can't compromise, then there's no democracy. I don't really know the political landscape in India, but over here, it is very weird right now. And yeah, what I was just talking about. I forgot my point, but I'll remember it.
About the non-Upanishadic views? There are many other schools, Sankhya says something, Nyaya says something, though they give lip service to the Upanishads, but they do a lot of free thinking. So how do you manage all of that? Then there are those who don't even accept the Upanishads. They don't even accept the Vedas. There are the Buddhists. There are the materialists. There are the Jainas. So how do you respond to those views? So multiple points of view which are ranged against Vedanta, that is replied to in the Brahma Sutras, plus some additional points about what is the result of all of this, what are the practices to be done. That's Brahma Sutras, 555 aphorisms. Now, these three are called Prasthanatraya. The Upanishads taken together, Prasthanatraya means the triple foundation. In English, we have a term, canonical literature. Foundational literature or canonical literature. That's a close, literally you can say the triple foundation, threefold foundation. At the bottom is the Upanishads. They are the foundation of the whole thing. You might say, then why not include the whole Vedas? Notice, in certain respect, the Upanishads are the repudiation of what went on earlier in the Vedas. They just say, congratulations, you have made it to to what we really want you to come to. This is the real thing that the Vedas want to tell you. You need not bother about all that has gone on earlier. So the foundation is the Upanishads themselves. And then they're called Shruti Prasthana. Shruti means Veda. So the foundation which comes from the Veda is called Shruti Prasthana, literally what has been heard. Then you have the Smriti Prasthana, the non-Vedic literature which supports and based on Vedas are called Smritis. So, for example, the Gita would be considered a Smriti. Technically, Gita is part of Mahabharata and Ramayana, and Mahabharata and Ramayana are technically considered Itihasa. But anyway, in a general sense, Gita is a Smriti. So, Gita will be Smriti Prasthana, the foundation from Smritis. And because the Brahma Sutras are logical argumentative, are based on philosophizing, reason, so they are called Nyaya or logic, Nyaya Prasthana, the foundation from logic. So triple foundations. They are not equal. Important, root, Upanishad. Practical advice on using the Upanishads in life, Gita. And working out all the logical kinks and problems and questions, Brahma Sutras. Now, all of this is explained by commentators, and each commentator gives his own spin to it. Shankaracharya, the commentator, the interpretation we shall follow, gives his commentaries. They're called Bhashya. He comments on 10 of the Upanishads, these 10 Upanishads, out of which we are studying 8. He comments. So his commentaries are my main source of interpretation. If you say, where are you getting all this, Swami? I'm getting it all from him. Then So he writes commentaries on 10 Upanishads, he writes commentaries on the Bhagavad Gita, one commentary, and he writes a commentary on the Brahma Sutras. And that's how we understand these three. But he's not the only one. His commentaries are the basis for Advaita Vedanta, non-dual Vedanta. And we'll come to the term Advaita. But then there's Ramanujacharya, whose commentaries are the basis of the system of Vishishtadvaita Vedanta. There is Madhvacharya, whose commentaries are the basis of the system called Dvaita Vedanta. Same Upanishads, same Gita, same Brahma Sutra, but multiple commentaries with different interpretations. Then we have Vallabhacharya, whose commentaries, specifically the differences are in the commentaries on Brahma Sutra, because these are philosophical differences. Shankara's commentary on Brahma Sutra, Ramanuja's commentary on Brahma Sutra, Madhva's commentary on Brahma Sutra, Vallabhacharya's commentary on Brahma Sutra. So Vallabha's commentary on Brahma Sutra is the basis for the system called Shuddhadvaita Vedanta. Then there is Nimbarka's commentary on the Brahma Sutras, which is the basis of the system called Dvaita Vedanta. Later there came the...
Again, I'm drowning in the middle of the Pacific Ocean.
Govinda Bhashya, a commentary on the Brahma Sutras by our Baladevacharya. So that became the basis of the Vedanta system known as the Achintya Bheda Veda school. These are not as esoteric as they may sound. Weird names. No, Achintya Bheda Veda school is the foundation basis of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, whom you see around in America, in New York here. Do you know them as the Hare Krishna? So the ISKCON monks. So yes, these are philosophical texts, philosophical systems, but they are well represented in modern Hinduism. All of modern Hinduism, most of it at least, can be traced back to one or more of these interpretations. All right. One more word, interpretation, a couple of more words. What is Advaita and what is Katha? Just the words themselves. Advaita, we know it means non-duality. Let me give you now a precise philosophical meaning, etymological philosophical meaning of the word Advaita. Dvaita, duality, Advaita, not duality, so non-duality in English.
And what I was talking about a second ago, the Who Am I lecture, covers all of this. I would strongly recommend, if you don't watch my reaction to it, at least watch his lecture on Who Am I. It goes in depth on this. Really good stuff, guys.
Precise meaning. I have to use a little bit of Sanskrit here, but I'll translate. Dvabhyam itam, in relation with two things. If something is in relation with two things, it's called Dvita, not Dvaita, Dvita. What is Dvita? Dvabhyam itam, in relation with two things. And the condition, this nature of being in relation with two things, something is related to two other things, is called Dvaita. Dvita is this relationship, and Dvaita is the nature of being in this relationship. Now, what does this mean? Sounds very abstract. Nothing very abstract. If Brahman is in contact with there are two other realities, Jiva and Jagat, God, sentient being, universe. You have got these three. God is in contact with these two. In contact with two. Who is in contact? Brahman. What are the two they are in contact with? Jiva and Jagat. Jiva means sentient being, us. Jagat means universe. So right now, for example, in us, the physical body belongs to the universe. But the sentient being inside consciousness, spark of consciousness, which I think I am, that's the individual being. So individual being, Jiva, sentient being, Jiva, universe, Jagat, and Brahman, ultimate reality. If you have these three, Brahman in contact with the other two realities, they are realities in relation to Brahman, but also distinct in themselves. This is called Dvaita.
This is just going to end up being a tease. I know it. We're not going to get into any of the good spicy stuff. It's just the introduction, and they're going to leave me hanging again.
This nature is called Dvaita. This whole situation is called Dvaita. Not Dvaita, a negation of Dvaita. is called Advaita. That means if you deny that the ultimate reality is in contact with two things, Jiva and Jagat, if you deny the ultimate reality is in some kind of real relationship with Jiva and Jagat, then you have Advaita. What does that mean? Because remember, Advaita says Brahman is the only reality. World is an appearance in Brahman.
I like how no matter which direction you take in life, there's some text to guide you. Even if you don't believe in one thing and whatnot and the other, it's like, okay, if you don't believe, go down to here. If you do believe, go here. I like that. Very specific.
The rope is in no contact with the snake. The cinema screen is no contact with the characters of a movie.
What he was just talking about, the snake and the rope. He talked about it in the Who Am I lecture, and it's all about perspectives. You know, somebody's looking like say 30 feet away, and they see a something hanging, a string hanging, and from that perspective, it automatically looks like a snake. So from that perspective, he didn't want to approach the cord to acquire the light, because his perspective was wrong at the time, and that's what he's talking about, the snake and the cord.
You'll say, but they are there. No, they are not there. That's the whole point of a movie. You in a dream are never in contact with the places and the characters in the dream. Never were. It all appeared in your dream. Similarly, Brahman is not in contact, in relationship with sentient beings or with the physical universe. This is called Advaita. This is the precise technical meaning of Advaita, not being in relation with two other realities. World, Jagat is an appearance, and the Jiva, sentient being, is none other than Brahman. It's not that you are in relationship with God, you are identical with God. Therefore, Advaita, non-dual. Where is this coming from? This is the most precise etymological and philosophical meaning of the term Advaita. You can don't show off, but you can if you want to. It's usually translated as non-dual, which is fine. But I'll tell you the source.
So the V is pronounced as a W. I thought it was Advaita Vedanta, but it's Avita.
This is from Sureshwaracharya, who was one of the great post-Shankara Advaita philosophers, a disciple of Shankaracharya. So he has written commentaries on Shankaracharya's commentaries. So this is from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad Bhashya Vattika.
Who's he talking about here? Somebody drop in the comments. I want to study a little bit more on who he's referring to here, the commentary on it. Please let me know. Thank you.
Now we will begin to understand what all this means. Brihadaranyaka is one of those Upanishads, the biggest one. Bhashya is Shankaracharya's commentary on Brihadaranyaka. Vartika is Sureshwaracharya's commentary on the commentary of Shankaracharya's commentary on the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. So there, Advaita Vedanta was taught by Shankara. And Sureshwara says, what is Advaita Vedanta? He says, let me read out the verse. Dvidhetam dvitamityāhu tadbhavo dvaitam uchyate tannishedhena chadvaitam pratyagvastu abhidhiyate. Very beautiful and very precise verse. Dvidhetam dvitam. The condition of being in relation with two realities. Brahman is in relation with two realities, is called dvita. And that tasya bhava, the nature of this whole situation is called dvaitam. Being in relation with two things. The relation itself is called dvitam. Being in relation with two things, this whole thing is called dvaitam, duality. Tan nishedhena. The negation of this situation, advaitam, is called advaitam, non-duality, not dvaitam. What does it all mean? He says, Pratyak Vastu Avidhiyat. Very simple. It's your inner reality. It's you. All this means you, the real you.
That's
So that's Sureshwara Acharya.
Beautiful way to summarize this whole thing. It's you.
For you.
It's always you. You think something, and it's you're thinking somebody is talking a certain way with an attitude. It's only because you have the attitude in your head always. It's always you. It's you.
This book I found it in is one of those people from whom I learned a little bit. A very great scholar of Advaita Vedanta. In Calcutta, he used to come and teach. Mahamahopadhyaya Sitanath Goswami. So he was very quite elderly when I went. I had heard about him. So I went to attend one of his classes. He just wanted to see. It was difficult to come from our main monastery to Calcutta. So just as a sample, I wanted to listen to some of his talks. So I went. And on the same day, another of our Swamis, who is a very well-known speaker in Bengali, probably the best one right now in our whole order in Bengali, he was giving a talk on Vedanta in the same institute. And the institute has a huge hall which can hold 800 people. And that was overflowing. They had more than 1,000 people to listen to the talk of this Swami. I was going to speak about Vedanta. He was going to speak about Advaita, Vishishtadvaita, and Dvaita Vedanta. And there were people standing in queues and all of that.
Beautiful.
Near the hall, there was this little classroom where this Pandit, this scholar, was teaching. And there were hardly 15 people there. So I went to listen to him. And I quickly realized why so few people turn up. The first 15 minutes of the class is a severe scolding.
You probably need
it goes like this. It's pretty rough. It starts like this. Staring at me, don't understand anything. I'm translating from Bengali. Why do I do this? Why do I punish myself this way? It's so awful. Just looking at your dark faces, dark with ignorance. It's just awful. I can't take it anymore. Anyway, let's get on with it. And then he treats everybody like they are a 5-year-old. You can't treat 5-year-olds here in USA like that. So he asked this lady who is a retired school teacher of Sanskrit. He says, stand up, tell me what was done in the last class. Define superimposition. And she sort of giggles shyly and he says, no, I won't let you off. I'm going to make you keep standing till you tell me. So it's just, but when he did start teaching, amazing. You saw the precision of this, what he did just now with the word Advaita. We generally say non-duality. Non-duality means there is nothing else other than Brahman, that's it. But duality here refers not to two things, Brahman and something else. No, it refers to Jiva and Jagat, the sentient being and the world. Those are not two. Cool. They are not there when we talk about Brahman. So that's where I got it. Sitanath Goswami. It is strict rule. Everybody after the class has to go and bow down to him. They would touch his feet. But monks were exempt. He would scowl at one or two monks who were present. He would scowl at us and said, not you, Swamis. Stop. Don't do that.
And then he hit him with a stick. That was in a previous reaction as well. Apparently you get beat up with a stick in training to be a monk or a Swami or whatnot. There is a stick involved. I don't exactly know what the purpose is behind it. That was just my guess.
All right. Then Katha. We're going to, of the Upanishads, we're going to start Katha Upanishad. So I'll just mention what is Katha Upanishad and stop. We know what Upanishad means, what Vedanta means, and the different schools of Vedanta, what Advaita means, and then Katha. Katha is the name of the Rishi who gave this Upanishad. I'm not saying composed, but I'm saying gave because the whole idea that it is being revealed and they are the ones who give it out. So the name of the Rishi is Katha. My book says Katha was a disciple of the Rishi Vaishampayana, who was a disciple of the Rishi Vyasa. I don't know where I got that factoid, but anyway, that's the lineage. Katha Rishi, his teacher is Vaishampayana, his teacher is Vyasa. Not that it matters, but it's just interesting. Shankaracharya, throughout his commentary, refers to the Upanishad as Kathaka Upanishad. The Upanishad, the teaching given by Katha. So technically that might be the correct name. So is it wrong to call it Katha Upanishad? No. The popular usage is Katha Upanishad. Everybody calls it the Katha Upanishad. The Upanishads themselves. Did you notice when I recited the name of the 10 Upanishads from the Muktika Upanishad? Isha Kena Katha Prashna. Even the Upanishad itself calls it Katha. So Katha is not a wrong name to use. Katha Upanishad. Or if you want to be a stickler, Kathaka Upanishad. Okay. That's it. There must be lots of comments. I'm sorry I took so much time to cover, but next time we'll start. We'll start with the meaning of the peace chant and then the Upanishad itself.
All right. Well, that's right. That wraps it up for this one. Like I thought, I'm just gonna roll right into the ending here. No cut. First take, Jake. It was a bit of a tease, I would say. I forgot that it was just the introduction to the text and not the actual text. So, yeah. I had to keep reminding myself that. And that's why I had to tease. And my biggest takeaway is, damn, it's vast. And you can get swallowed up. I see why that they strongly recommend you go through it all with the spiritual teacher, because you can drown in it. It's vast. All right, thank you again. If you made it this far, you knowledge nomads, I love you guys. Think about joining my Patreon and get early access. I'm gonna do live Q&As. My Cash App's in there if you guys want to help out. I am non-employable, so I don't have an income. So everything, every little bit helps. Also, look at the t-shirts. I'm gonna try to get them shipping to India, so I'm working on that right now. But anyways, thank you guys. I love you. I can't express my gratitude enough. So I love you guys. Go love somebody you don't like so you can love yourself properly. Please. I love you guys. See you next time.